Hey, so Kevin is still entertaining his house guest, so he's not going to join us today. So let's just continue with what we started yesterday. Ran, I don't think you had a chance to lead the 83, did you? I don't think so. So why don't you lead the first one? So we're just going to go from move 1 to move 40, that is to the tornado kick. So go ahead and lead us.
Okay.
Rand, Rand, say something.
Saying something.
Okay, so a couple of things. One is we all have to get better with managing the the camera, so to speak, to do these recordings. Whenever you are leading, remember to say something because most of the time I don't remember. I'll try to remember, but if Rand's gonna lead, you got to say something, right?
He did. He did say something.
Yeah, exactly. And I need to remember to go and mute my side of things because if I make a noise here, come on, like that, right? Um, then it comes on me again, and then you see 10 minutes of me standing there watching you. I don't get to see you. So it's got to be a mutual management. Now it also has gone to other people too. So a lot of times it's on Kevin. And Kevin's just sitting there watching, only we don't even get to see what he's watching. So let's let's try to slow up a little bit and remember to do this better. I wish I had some kind of clicker that I could use, but I don't, so I'm going to have to run back and forth. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about today has to do with a couple of things. Um, and take this seriously because this is really getting down into the serious part of Tai Chi. I don't know where it is in the Tao Te Ching, but there's a place in the Tao Te Ching where Lao Tzu says, "Who has the patience to wait until the mud settles and the water runs clean?" Who has the patience to wait until the mud settles and the water runs clean? Now, I don't think he was talking about Tai Chi there, but it fits Tai Chi absolutely perfectly, all right? Because Tai Chi is a Taoist art. The other day, we watched the Japanese gentleman do his beautiful form. Of everybody I've ever watched, I think he's the person with the most patience during the form itself to wait until the mud settles and the water runs clean. He's not rushing ahead. And in a sense, even that phraseology is not really right. That's not what he's really doing. What he's really doing is staying in the moment. He's paying attention to what's happening with the mud. Who has the patience to wait until the mud settles down, and then the water runs clean? All right. So, Ran, you don't have enough patience. All right. I often don't have enough
I
patience.
was trying.
Rand, did you get to see that Japanese guy? Were you here that when we played that yesterday? So play it for yourself a couple of times and watch his mind. All right. Um, you guys know the poem. The stillness in stillness is not the real stillness. Only when there's stillness in motion will the spiritual rhythm appear which pervades heaven and earth. So you've got to find the stillness in the motion, and that he was doing really well. Now, there's another side to that coin that I want to talk about. That's the main thing I want to talk about today. It has to do with how we have all of us, misused our bodies and abused our bodies. And you can abuse your body by going out and getting drunk, right? That's really acute. But there are much more subtle forms of abuse that we don't even notice. And the biggest one is sitting so much. You think about when humanity was evolving, when we were still truly animals. We didn't sit. We rarely sat. We squatted sometimes. But we didn't have chairs and comfy sofas and bucket seats and office chairs. We didn't have those. So we didn't sit, which means that our life in our hips was much more open and flexible than it is now. So I want to read you chapter 76 from the Tao Te Ching. And believe me, I'm really feeling this one right now. We are born gentle and weak, but at death we're stiff and hard. Green plants are tender and filled with sap. At their death they are withered and dry. Therefore the stiff and unbending is the disciple of death. The gentle and yielding is the disciple of life. Thus, an army without flexibility never wins a battle. A tree that is unbending is easily broken. The hard and strong will fall. The soft and weak will overcome. All right? That's Taoism in a nutshell. But like I said, we all inherited a kind of modern cultural problem, which is we spend way too much time sitting on our butts. And two things happen because of that. One, this part of the body becomes numb, literally numb. All right? And on top of that, it becomes stiff. That's why I read that poem. It becomes stiff. So this part of the body, from your navel down to your thighs, mid thighs, is a kind of abused. It's not kind of abused; it's just plain abused. So all of us, me included, have to deal with this when we're doing Tai Chi. Because this part of our body is much stiffer than it would be if we were still living in the trees or running across the savannah. How do you deal with that? Well, the first thing you have to do is become aware of it. And doing Tai Chi and Qigong should make you aware of it. Right? What happens is the same thing that happens with any kind of injury. You will create compensatory ways of dealing with your body. So if you have an injury in your right hip, you will, to a certain degree, you will freeze your own right hip and begin to drag your leg a little bit. So you might walk a little bit like this, with a little bit of a limp. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. You're protecting yourself in doing that. But the whole point of Tai Chi is, or one of the points of Tai Chi, is to become aware of those parts of our bodies where maybe more energetically than physically, where the energy is congealed and the water is not flowing freely. And become aware of that, and then try to figure out some things you can do to deal with it. So I'm going to look at one particular move, the second move in the form is actually one of the more difficult moves. And it's because you have to turn your waist a little more than 90 degrees. You have to turn your waist more like about 100 degrees. It's a tiny little part of the form, but the basics the basics you have to learn to do that correctly can be applied to almost every move in the form. So what I want to talk about is the mindset that you need to have when you do that particular little bit of move, that tiny little bit. And if you can truly get this, then you can apply it to all kinds of other places in the form where you're doing some variation on that, which is almost everywhere. What you have to do is put your mind on your hips. Your hips are here. Your hips are not out here. They're in here. All right? That's where the bone comes up and comes into the pelvis. And especially what you need to think about is not the front, you have to think about the back. So I'm going to put this on my back. All right, can you see this white stripe? When you do this move, you have to sink into your hips. Sink. Sink. Yes, I'm bending at the knees, but I'm also sinking here. And especially in back. And then I'm going to slide across this white line. Slide. Slide. Hands come up. Slide back. Now, hopefully, when you watched me do that, hopefully, I didn't raise it up when I raised my hands. Right? I did not do this. All right? You don't need to raise your hips. Sink, slide, slide back. All right? Slide, 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 slide. Shift your weight. Susan, I'm watching you do it, and I don't see your hips actually sliding. Maybe it's the camera or something, but you go down, it's got to slide over. Slide. I see your waist turning, but I don't see your hips sliding. All right. Okay, forget the circle. Forget the circle completely. Just slide. Forget your arms. There. Better. Rand, let me see you do it. Better. Good. Susan, can you see Rand clearly? Can you see him? All right, Rand, keep doing it. Susan, I want you to tell me what he's doing right and what he's doing wrong. Okay, okay, Rand, rest. What is he doing right?
Okay, it looks like he's sliding the hips backwards and forwards.
Right. What's he doing wrong?
He's not separating his waist and his hips.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Now that sounds so easy, but it's not easy. Honestly, it's not easy. But that is what you got to do. Okay, Rand, can you see Susan? All right, Susan, do it again. Just what you were doing. Okay, and rest. Rand, same question. What is she doing right? What's she doing wrong?
I think it might be a bit of the opposite of me. Like she is able, she is able to separate her hips and her core,
Yeah.
but she's not necessarily like sinking into the hips.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. Can you tell why she's not quite sinking into her hips? Can you see? Do it again, Susan.
Maybe it's just a matter of relaxing. I'm not sure.
Look at her forward knee.
Yeah, it's going in instead of like open. It should
Right.
be like a bit more than
Right.
90 degrees.
Susan, watch. I'm going to copy you.
Okay. Okay, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
That knee has to be open.
Okay.
It's not straight. It's open.
Okay. So do it again.
That makes space for this to
Okay.
happen.
Yeah.
Better. Susan, I can't see your feet, so I need to see what your toes are doing. And now the hassock's in the way, or whatever that is there. Yeah, great, perfect. Stand back a little bit. Yeah, good. Okay, Rand, watch this. All right, Susan, just stop.
Uh-huh.
Open your left toes to the left. Yes. Now you can open your knee. Yes. Okay, rest. So, when you do this move, and this is true for almost all moves, you have to open your toes. This whole thing about opening toes sounds so small, but it's a key to the structure of your legs. And I can remember back when I started, along with a lot of Chinese guys and stuff, we were all working on our toes, right? And it was actually painful. And eventually, you learn that everybody does it a little differently because, of course, everybody's slightly different structure. But watch this foot. Right? You have to open them just a little bit. That allows your knees to open, and that allows your pelvis to open, and now you can relax and truly slide. Now, I've slid out, I'm gonna go up, but my here is not gonna go up, it's not gonna come up. It's gonna stay. In fact, it may even go down a little bit. And then again out. So something like that happens with every move. You don't have to practice it that low. You can be much more gentle with yourself. But the conformation, the structure of your body needs to follow what I just described. So you can do it very high. You know, you don't want to wear yourself out. So I don't have to go down real low. Right? You just go down a little bit, but open your toes a little bit, and especially this knee. And now if it's in like that, you're just going to fall over. Right? Boom. And then through. So in a sense, with Tai Chi, you become bow-legged. You become like a bow-legged sailor, right? And this is where a lot of the strength and flexibility becomes built into any practice because you're always practicing this. Okay, I want to go back to the guy we watched yesterday and watch one tiny little part of what he was doing. I mean, literally like a 2-second part. And I'm going to slow it down to quarter speed. So hold on. It'll take me a second to find this. Okay, that's what I want to watch. Okay, we're going to watch this several times in a row. First, just watch everything. Now, we're going to watch it again. Watch this foot. Watch his right foot here. One more. see his foot shift? Watch his foot. Watch his foot. Now we're going to watch it again. Watch his hip. Watch his hip and buttocks on the right side. Watch his hip. One more time. Watch his hip. Let's watch it one more time. Watch his whole body. The point of this is not to do the Fajin. What he was doing is called Fajin, explosive energy. That's in the martial side of what's going on. But what I want to look at is the body mechanics and the energy dynamics. What was he doing to create that punch? He was not doing this. It wasn't done with his arm. It was done with his lower body. He's very good at it. That was a very good Fajin, better than mine. What was he doing? Could you see what he was doing? Rand, what was he doing?
It was all going in the same, like, it was all oriented towards the direction. So like when he's moving, it's not his hand or his legs, or it's like everything is going in that direction.
Everything in his body was moving toward one point, the end of his fist. All right, but his whole body was moving. It wasn't just this.
Oh, no.
It was his whole body.
It was like you could really see the spiraling effect through
exactly. That's what I wanted to get at. The silk reeling. This is what silk reeling is. The whole body becomes like a tornado. It's all moving in one direction and then pop. So it's exactly like learning to use a whip. Everything goes into the end of the whip. All right. Now, when he was doing that, his movement was very fast, and yet his overall form was very slow. So the fastness comes out of the slowness. And this is what people don't get about Tai Chi, all right? If you want to become fast, you have to practice slowly. Because everybody's body is full of all kinds of little energy glitches. And you've got to clear those out. And you can clear them out. But you clear them out by going slowly. If you go too fast, what happens is you just jump over them. They haven't gone anywhere. You've just jumped over, which is what we're all used to doing. All right? So instead, you got to go really slowly. And when you go slowly, you will, instead of jumping over them, you will run into them. And then you'll go, oh, well, that's not comfortable. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that's too stiff. Oh, this or that. And you're right. All those things are true. So it's not something you can do just once and it's all gone. What you do is you go slowly, and it's like cleaning something. You don't just hit it once and it's clean. You know, if something's really dirty, right, you're going to have to probably go through stages of cleaning. At first, you got to shovel all the junk out of there, right? But then you got to wash it down, and then you've got to polish it, and etc. So it takes time to do that. That's why we do this slowly. It's the only way to do it. The only way to get fast is to go slow. And you may have noticed too how he was using his hips, right? So he winds up, right? And then he shifts his foot, right? And then pops that hip forward. This down here begins the spiral, and the spiral goes through the whole body until it pops out the end, right? We're not trying to be martial artists. I don't care whether you can ever do that as a martial thing. What I care about is that you can create the spiral through your body. Because if you can do that, it's like taking a bottle brush and cleaning out, right, most of your body when you're doing that. And that's what keeps you green and young. It's amazingly good at it. Where if you just, you know, kind of sit in your chair and complain about politics, you just get old and stiff really fast. So this, something like this. You shouldn't do it really hard, because you just wear yourself out, and
there's no point.
There's no point in it. But you can do it slowly and correctly.
Then it's Qigong.
All right, across the back. Is my tape still there? Yeah. You can still practice the hips, you can practice the whole body spiraling, and you can feel, as I was watching him, I was thinking about that quote from the Tao Te Ching that I started this little discussion with. Who can wait until the mud settles? Who's got the patience to wait until the mud settles and the water can flow freely? He's doing that. He's truly doing that. Better than me. All right? He's waiting. He's slow. He's waiting. He's waiting for the mud to settle. Okay, now it's clear. Move ahead. In a way, he never stops moving. If you really watch closely, he never stops moving. But it's almost like he's not moving, because he's just slowed it down to the point he's waiting for it all to settle. Settle, 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 boom. Or whatever move he's doing, right? Settle, 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 push. Settle. So he's not running after the form. What he's doing is just watching his own internal water, or chi, if you want to call it that, right? And letting it settle. That is so counterintuitive in modern culture. It actually, for a lot of people, to do that is actually painful for them. Literally painful. I mean it literally. It's literally painful. Now, I think you should do it anyway. I think you should break through that pain. Right? Feel that. Feel the water. Now, if you do it that way, your Tai Chi will slow down to half your normal speed. Because you're, instead of paying attention to following this thread, which means you're actually projecting yourself into the future, you don't do that. You just stay in the present tense. You just stay right here and right now. Now, the first time you go through the form, you can't do that because you're learning the choreography. Right? But after you've learned the choreography and you don't have to struggle to remember what the next thing is, then truly relax into the form. And follow that water. And when you need to, when the water feels a little turbulent, it's kicked up a little mud, then rest. Rest until the mud settles down, and then go on. That, I think, is the real benefit of Tai Chi, because that process keeps you in the present tense, and it focuses on your flexibility, your real flexibility, which is the control of the water element in your body. Okay, guys, we're a couple minutes over. I'm sorry to have kept you over. All right? And enjoy your week of practice. We'll see you next weekend.